Paul has arrived today, and he's taking out the frame, the temporary frame that we have here, because he has the doors, and he has the joy of installing them, which won't be difficult at all. Good morning. Let's see what you got. Look at that. Was there a lot of wood that had to be replaced?
Well, basically, yeah. So these all had to come off because they were all rotten.
Right.
And, you know, really sort of like years and years and years of paint on them. So these came off as well because these bits here and these bits were rotten. So I've replaced and renewed those. The corner bits were all loose, as you know, from everywhere, so they came out all over the door and got cleaned up, glued back in and screwed in properly, and then basically just stripping all the paint off of everything, years and years and years of different coats and different types of paint on it. I've replaced these because they were completely shot.
Right. So these are the drip edges that go on the bottom.
On the bottom of the door. Here, there, and everywhere. There's another bit there I replaced because that was knackered. That goes down through there, but you'll see it all later when it goes together. With any luck.
Excellent. I'm very excited to have a front door again.
Yeah.
So we had taken the door out completely, and Paul took it back to his workshop because it needed so much work, as he just described. And now it's going back in place. Now you'll notice that the door does not look like it's tall enough to fill the opening, and that's because there's a top piece with 2 windows in it, and we actually kept that here, so that's actually just around the corner, literally. So they're making they're making a form. This is the transom that goes above, and they're going to put it into the frame. So when they lift this frame into place, it kind of helps hold the shape. We have Stephen in the window and Ben now in the window. So they're on the dark side of it. They're on the dark side. The panel above the door, which has 2 glass panes in it, is very bowed. So it was bowing into the room. So we decided to cut it in half to let it lay, to fit in flatter into the space. And it's been bowed for years, so this isn't new. And there is a small vertical strip of wood that goes in the middle between them anyway, which was a decorative feature, which will be going back. So that will cover the cut in the middle. And once we do that, we can put the hardware back on for latching the door, and it'll all be much better. They functioned so much better. Prior to Paul renovating the doors, we couldn't open the one on the left at all. And the one on the right, it opened and closed, but it always had problems latching. So I'm now on the other side of the door with Stephen and Ben installing the upper window. Paul's going to be coming back tomorrow, in fact, to install the wood panels that go on the left and right of the door and to finish that part of the installation. And Ben was just saying that the windows, the wood for the windows, it's thicker than the frame that it fits into.
Yeah.
Obviously, there'll be a small protrusion of the window. Is that what it is? The window protrudes just a little bit? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But there's a trim piece right down the middle, and that will continue up through the window. So that will cover the gap from cutting this in half. I will be honest, I was a little unsure about cutting it in half, but this has definitely turned out to really resolve the situation. We were going to try and bend it a little bit very slowly and gradually, but it was really quite warped. And of course, you can see that big gap in between, but that's going to be covered up with some trim piece. And then the whole window will be sealed in as well, which is good because I got a warning about a storm coming. Orage dans les Gers in the Tarn-et-Garonne. J'ai reçu un texto de Météo France. Il a dit c'est jaune pour orage. Margot is saying something. Oui, j'ai reçu un texte aujourd'hui. Oui. Mais il n'a pas dit quand. It didn't say when. Ah, so from 7 o'clock. But might be a storm. Batten down the hatches. Oh, while I'm here in the dining room.
I'll switch on the lights.
Oh, all the bulbs are in. Ta-da! We only had this light fixture in the hall for what, a year and a half? 2 years maybe? It just got hung yesterday by our electricians. Yeah, there were a few crystals that had been removed, but we had them. And it's looking fantastic. So does what you're working on. You only...
You're filming me, I'm doing stuff.
For the next year, I'll be like, let's check on Margot, and she'll be sitting in the exact same spot.
I did this line, and this line of the done probably.
Yeah,
I'm just doing touch-ups now, and then I will do the other.
right.
This evening.
Excellent. The dining room will be done by the time I retire. So I'm in the library, obviously. We are getting much closer to getting this room done. And Mario has been working in here painting quite a bit. So things are pretty close, and we're actually working on these doors. And Ben actually took this set of doors out completely, sanded them all down. They've just got a nice coat of primer on them. And we put them back because it's a little uncomfortable not having doors on. But then they'll get painted. We'll either paint them in place or we'll actually take them off to paint them again. If you are a keen observer, you'll notice on this side that there's only one door because he actually has one door out at the moment, which he is sanding and working on. And you can see that the hardware is laying here in the room because eventually that, of course, will all go on. But he's actually taking the hardware off and just kind of like stripping it all down, getting it back to the metal. And I think we're going to leave it with this bare metal. Let's see if we can get a little better. There's a lot of patina going on the hardware. And I think we're going to leave it just a bare metal with its natural patina. A lot of this hardware had all been painted over the years. But I don't think the paint really looks so great. And it just doesn't wear great on it. It kind of flakes off. It doesn't stick to the metal as well. And you can see in the door, right there, there's a hole going right through. And that is where the crémant attaches. And that's this bar here. And you can see like at the end here. So this actually goes through the door, and then there's a nut that goes on the outside. You can see there's just sort of a lot of stuff around here because there's so much work. Let's look up. All right, so this, if I can turn it on. This is the chandelier that's here in the library. It was very shortly after we bought the house, we found this light fixture and thought this would be really great for the library. This is an interesting fixture as it's a transitional fixture. It's originally was both gas and electric. So where the glass bowls are is gas. And then where these sort of flower arms, these arms coming down with the flower petals, which don't have bulbs in them in the moment, but those were electric. And during this transitional period, the electric was either unreliable or not really quite bright enough. And so you often had these fixtures that had both gas and electric at the same time. Now, obviously, it's been completely electrified, so now it's all electric. This is the library chandelier. Speaking of the library, I think this just happened this past week when Margot was here, but she's finished painting these set of doors. These doors go into the salle de réception, which is actually where the billiard table is right now, so it's the salle de billard. And see, these are now painted in the trim color, which is this sort of white, slightly creamy white that we're using as a trim color, mostly throughout the house. So this is going to be kind of unifying all the different rooms, this color, so that even though a lot of the rooms have very different colors in them, and some of them quite deep and dramatic, like this room with this red, there'll be sort of a little bit of a unifying factor with the trim color work. being kind of consistent throughout. And you can see these doors as well are also painted. So it's really starting to look good and really come together. Dad has rewired the lamp, as well as straightening out some of the arms that were particularly bent. And you're just finishing up wiring it up. And he put in these posts and attached the sockets for the bulbs. How long have you been working on this?
About 3 days.
So it's a nice,
We're almost finished.
nice, simple little project.
And I think the scaffolding is up in
In the
the
kitchen? Oh,
where it's going to go.
that's not good.
It is good. We're going to be putting it up tomorrow.
Where are we going to eat dinner?
Under the scaffold. It's a high-priced district.
All right, no, that's good.
It's just the 4 of us.
Yeah.
And,
Did they move the table?
yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll squeeze around.
Tables on dollies. We rolled it out of the way. And he's been working on the attachment for the ceiling.
Ah, that's right.
We got the wire pulled through from the top.
Excellent.
In.
And we have a black chain.
Oh yeah, he's got that.
Very good.
You bring it?
All right. It's looking good?
Okay?
Yep.
So we're getting there.
Okay, well, excellent. So tomorrow we might be able to hang this.
Yep.
Well, I just said I should have been videoing this because we've been lifting this light fixture up and taking it down and putting it up to get the height worked out. We can see Ben is at the top. It's been hooked up. He's just pushing the wires into the ceiling and setting the canopy or the escutcheon up at the top. It was a whole family affair. My brother Lee was helping. My dad, who rewired the whole fixture, was helping. And Chris from down the road, who's hiding behind and holding the ladder. And a whole crew of peanut gallery making comments. Mark is at Kine, so I had to WhatsApp him with some video to work out the height. And we kind of finally got it set, so we just need to put the glass covers on and then the light bulbs. And we have one light bulb just to make sure it worked, which it did. The chandelier. This really is sort of the jewel finishing off the main kitchen. We bought this chandelier, I think, 3.5 years ago, about. And it didn't look so great. Not horribly, just a little bit, but it just looked very, well, more rustic than we wanted it to look. My father, who's very handy and loves a little project, used some clamps and bent the arms carefully back into place, which was great. And you do have to be careful of this. Those arms are wrought iron and they can actually break. The wrought iron can be a little fragile. But he gently got them bent back into shape, and my father completely rewired the light fixture. And Mark had found the white candle bases that you see for the light bulbs, and they're actually in glass. So they look really, really nice. They look quite lovely. And this chandelier was hung here. Valiant effort of many people involved here in the main kitchen over the dining table. And it just kind of completes the kitchen here. It's really a lot of fun to find these old fixtures and kind of discover them, especially if they're a little damaged, and just kind of bring them back to life and be able to use them. And hopefully, this will be hanging here for the next 100 or 200 years, who knows. This fixture is interesting. You might notice on the inner part, it looks a little bronzer, and that's probably because it may have had some kind of gilding on it originally. There's definitely a sort of a bronze or golder color to it. So it might have had, some gilding on it. And who knows, maybe down the road we'll play around with that idea. Probably not, but who knows? All right, let's check out the front hall. I just want to see what's going on there. You notice there is work going on today. I left the lights on in the dining room. I'll pop that off. You don't hear a lot of work going on. There is work going on today. A couple of the people are on vacation. We're entering summer, in the summer months where there's vacation. First thing I want to know is here in this spot, used to be the crate that had the 2 light fixtures hanging in it. They've been sitting here for, I don't know, a year and a half or so. So we finally have gotten that crate taken out because that was the dining room fixture and the one in the library. And it's kind of completely opened up. Let's back up a little bit. The entrance hall has made this entrance hall feel big and grand again, which is great. And it also allows us to actually start working on getting some of these walls repaired in the entrance hall. In fact, Stephen has been working filling in where the electrical conduit was placed in the walls, on here and the other side. This is just getting us prepped before we can get to painting. This room is a huge room. It's actually the largest open space in the chateau. So, yeah, it's a lot to paint. You see some color samples, those yellows that are here. They are not the color we're gonna use in here. We got some color samples on this post, some of the off-whites we're using. We're still working on it, so we'll see what happens. But I do wanna note the doors. These doors were taken off by Paul, who does all the woodwork, completely restored. They've been primed, they're painted on the outside. They might need one more coat. And Ben redid the glass in them. Some of the glasses are the older glass that it was able to save, and then there were some panes that were already broken that he had to redo, and also the window that's above as well. And also as part of this process is restoring the shutters that are connected to these doors. So these were also all taken off, sanded down, and completely redone and properly hung. And get a little sense of the shutters going on. Let me close the other one. These doors are probably not original to the house. These seem to have been an upgrade. These doors, unfortunately, the frame that they were on, had shifted. They were almost inoperable. And so it was a little complicated getting the frame put back in place, getting it leveled out, getting it to the door swing correctly. But we finally got there in the end. So I'm just waiting to get the hardware on them. And we were trying to work out the functioning of these doors. And the reason is these have the crémant like the other doors, so they kind of latch. They have a knob that latches them up and down. And that means there's no way to open them from the outside if they've been latched. And if we go outside real quick, let me just go through this. If we take a look outside, there was a door handle on the outside, but it was not original to the door. There was actually no place to put a door handle. And because originally these doors probably didn't have a door handle on the outside, because when you would come home, your servants would be opening your doors from the inside. You wouldn't need a door handle. Which for modern times, it creates this minor problem. So we've been trying to figure out how we're going to manage this. So we've kind of worked it out. We're going to have our locking mechanism on the inside. It will not be, you can't unlock it from the outside. So if you're coming home, the doors are locked up, you'll have to go through another entrance to get to the main doors. But what I wanted to do was have that we can leave them unlocked during the day, but keep the doors closed, because right now, if there's a bit of wind or even a breeze, it will just push the door open. So we found some magnetic latches that we can put in the doors that should be strong enough to hold the doors, but if you just give it a good push, you can still push the door open when it's not locked. Of course, when it's locked, you won't be able to open the doors at all. This is some of the works that have been going on in the chateau. A lot of light fixture hanging. And we keep moving forward, and it's just continuously. It's like every time like a little something more happens, it's like just another moment closer to the completion of these renovations, which are still a long time away from completion. So, but every little step gets you to your destination. we wired up the sockets for the bulbs, and that's what it's going to look like. This is the final one. It's looking pretty good.
Do that again, honey, but get your dad in there.
Get in there, Dad. What am I going to...
Look like you're working. Work.
I feel like that's not convincing.
No, it's convincing.
So,
There you go, yeah.
how long, Dad? Oh no, I'm on video. I'm on video.
So
It's not just a photo.